Hello, welcome to Patrice's Projects, and happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. And if you're not the mother, but you forgot or couldn't get a gift for mom, I'll give you some ideas. It's not too late to go out and grab some items to give to mom. One of the things that you can do, I harvested a whole bunch of Swiss chard yesterday, and sometimes I like to give it away. And when I bunch it together, this rainbow chard actually looks like a flower bouquet because it's so colorful. I'll put some together and show you how you might present it to mom. Other things you can do for mom is, if your garden is not yet growing, you can plant some seeds. A lot of things like radishes, lettuce, cabbage, Swiss chard, they're cold tolerant. So even if your ground is too cold to be planting tomatoes and peppers and squash and things like that, you could direct sow a lot of those things into the garden for mom. That would be a wonderful gift. Also, if you don't have yard space, get a pot, just a 6, 8, 10-inch pot, and sow some seeds into that, and you can grow it in a sunny window. Or better yet, if you have a little balcony, set up a little garden out there for mom. Should have loved that, especially in these times that we're going through this year, where food shortage is something to be a little bit concerned about. So if you can get like a 10 or 12-inch pot, you could grow cucumbers in that. You can grow a pot full of lettuce, a 10-inch pot with a lettuce mix in it, sown lightly because they do grow and they also grow big. So, like 15, 20 seeds in there, and see what a beautiful mix she'll have in a couple months. Even less if you have the right conditions. Buy her a light to grow food with, one of the lights that's made specifically for growing things like green vegetables. There's different types of lights. Some bulbs you can screw right into, like a shop light, one with a little clip and the thing that goes over it. You can screw a bulb right into there and hang it over a pot, and she can have a garden all year long. There's so many things that you can include in a little bouquet type thing for her. Let me walk you around and show you some things. Swiss chard. That is an easy one. You could just throw it all together in a bunch, tie it with a ribbon, or better yet, put it in a big vase, because they can get pretty fat. I'll show you. They can get pretty fat, but let's walk around, look at other things you can put into a vase or a bouquet for mom. I have some kale that's going to seed, and this one is Siberian kale, and I don't have very much seed for it, so I'm letting one of these two is going to go to seed, the other one's going to be pulled. These flowers are more than just ornamental, they're edible too. A lot of flowers from brassicas and even radishes are edible. You can eat the pods as well. This is red Russian kale, also called ragged jack, and this would be really pretty even in a flower arrangement as some of the leaves that go in behind it. Wouldn't that be pretty? It's got the color on the stem. It's not necessarily red. It looks more purple to me. Let me give you a closer look at that. So you could put that into a bouquet of Swiss chard, of edible flowers, things like that. Edible flowers include cosmos. Mine aren't doing good this year, but I'll show you one. Ignore the ones that are dead. It's just too hot out right now. These are really suffering in the sun. These were just in beautiful shape this morning, but you can see the tips are drying up. They're not doing very well this year in this up and down weather. Here's another cosmos that got transplanted with the lettuce down there when it needed to be moved. And there's my tomatoes. You could probably even decorate with some sprigs of tomatoes if you pluck the suckers off. They are pretty. Like this up here. This thing right here is a sucker. You could, I keep the suckers on mine, but you could pop that right off, put that in the bouquet. That'd be kind of neat. And it might start growing roots, so that'd be even better. A whole nother tomato plant. It's about noon right now, and it is pushing 90 degrees today. And it reminded me of another item you can get Mom. This is something my son got me either last year or the year before for Mother's Day, and that happens to be a garden hat. Yeah, that's much better. Oh, look at that. This, You Don't Suck, has a succulent on there with a smiley face pot. This is a gift from my daughter this year. She tracked it in the mail and told me when to go to the front door to get my Mother's Day package. Yes, it's not quite Mother's Day yet. I had to do this video in advance. She wanted me to open the present right when I got it, so isn't that awesome? Get her a great gardening shirt. All mothers appreciate that. Another thing that moms appreciate, this is a gift that my sister gave me. I believe that was from Debbie. This little tiny pot, this is only like a 5-inch pot, and it's ceramic. It has no holes, but for indoor, that's fine, as long as you're careful about how much water you put in there and feel the weight. Make sure it doesn't get too heavy or too light. Fill it up, put some basil seeds in there. 3 basil will do fine in here for indoor gardening. You could also do some thyme or oregano. What else? Parsley. Parsley gets really big roots. Maybe not parsley. Cilantro. You could grow cilantro indoors. So something like this would be an awesome gift, especially if you give her some seeds to go with it. Another gift you can get the gardener, homesteader, wannabe gardener, indoor gardener is hand tools. We love hand tools. I got me a set, and I purposely got them with bright orange handles because I needed a trowel. I accidentally threw my trowel away, I guess. That's my guess. Had a green handle, and it was an older one, so the silver scoop part was dirty. I didn't see it. I think it went out in the garbage. So I purposely got some bright orange handled tools, and here they are. If you grow sage or rosemary, some sprigs of that in the bouquet would be really nice, and it would add some nice fragrance to it. Also, if you are growing basil and that is going to seed, or even if it's not going to seed but has some nice long sprigs, you could add that in for fragrance too. My rosemary is not in bloom right now. It already bloomed, but yours might be blooming. Right? My sage is toward the end of the blooming, but it would still add a little bit of color in. So, I mean, if I were making a bouquet for me, that would be kind of neat in there. How about some green onions that have gone to seed? They're not the most beautiful, regular, normal onion going to seed. It has flowers on it. These, I don't know if it's focused on there, just look like that. But it would be an interesting feature in a bouquet for Mom. My zucchini isn't yet flowering. It's getting close. But with the male flowers, they'll produce a nice long stem and the big, beautiful flower on top. You could add some of those in. And you can cook the flower afterward. I'm not exactly sure, look it up, but I've never done it. People take the flowers from zucchini and other squash and they cook them up. Pumpkins as well. So if you've got too many male flowers, go ahead and fry some up for Mom for Mother's Day. I got this garlic from my friend Nancy, and she sent it to me because I had always wanted to try garlic scapes, and she knew that. This is German garlic. So if you're growing hardneck garlic, go look and see if it has any scapes on it yet. Those would be an interesting feature in the bouquet. And I'm trying to focus on this one here. And you can chop it up and put it in some eggs for her after. Well, it's evening now. It got too hot for me earlier to continue, but I said I was going to show the tools that I had gotten. Here is the trowel, like a planting trowel. It's a little wider, very dirty, well used. It works great. It's nice and thick. It's got the heavy aluminum, I believe it is, which all of the tools except maybe this has, let me get you closer. Okay, that's better. This, it's like it's not a pruning shear, it's a clipper, so that you can prune your plants, like your tomatoes. People that clip the suckers off and stuff, it's got a fine tip. Works pretty good. It's not, I mean, it's not high quality. I did not pay a lot for this. And it comes in this bag, and the bag has 2 handles and it velcros shut at the top. It's got some big pockets on the sides. You could put a drink in there, or other things, and it has a little elastic on there. That one's pretty short. This one's okay. And each pocket has the elastic going across, so that, like the weeding tool, which I had the old-fashioned kind where it's just got the long thing and then the little fork at the end. This, I do like it because you can pull out some of the weeds easier. And it's got the more narrow trowel with the inches on it and centimeters. And you can tell I use them a lot. They're dirty. This is the pruner, and this one is not the bypass pruner. This is the other kind where it for like bigger branches where it goes in like that, not bypass like scissors. I've used that a few times. It works good. I prefer big loppers, you know. It's just easier. If you're going to be pruning a branch that big, that's what you use. Oh! It's over there. It's also got a kneeling pad, and in the kneeling pad handle was this little ruler thing I thought was so funny. Like, you would ever use this, really. It looks like it's in inches. Yeah. And, okay, so we covered those tools. This one was called a weeder, but what I found it really good for, I had to harvest some of the garlic because it was yellowing a lot, and where it is, I can't shut the water off in the middle of the bed. It's on the drip system. So this is just right for going down into the soft soil, because in the beds it's soft, and popping them up. So this worked great. I loved it. It is good for weeding as well, for some of the bigger weeds in the yard, like the ones with the sticker burr things. They spread out like that. That's pretty good for that. Hand cultivator, I've used that a lot when I was pulling back the soil and getting the roots from the tree and all that good stuff. And okay, it's got all the hand tools like that, and it's got a set of gloves. Now, I've only used the gloves once, I think. They're a little loose. I prefer them a little tighter in the fingers, but you know, they have that coating, and it's quite a ways up the finger, so that's pretty nice. That's a left hand. Here's the right hand, has the claw things. I did try it once. It was okay, but with the raised beds, I don't have a lot of weeds and such, so I don't have much of a use for it. I did try it for the roots at the bottom of the bed, but you kind of put a lot of force on your knuckles, so I don't know. I didn't get it for these. Okay, it came with also, trying to get it out. I think it was this one or another one. This might be the one I bought. Anyway, it came with some of this stuff. This might be the one it came with. The soft wire tie for your plants. I may have bought this one. It might have come with short pieces. That's what it came with. like 10-inch pieces that were already pre-cut. That's what I had. And I think I used all those up. And lastly, other than the kneeling pad, and I'll grab that and show you that too. Let me back you back up for this one. In fact, I'll demonstrate it for you. And it came with this very fashionable apron. I'm sure everyone in the neighborhood is going to be wearing one of these once they see me in this, right? So it's got 4, 5 very narrow pockets, like for your clippers. Where did they go? Clippers would fit in there nicely. Ruler? I don't know. But they're very narrow, and then there's one good usable pocket here and one here. Yeah, this is kind of at a strange location. This one's fine. I would have preferred all big pockets, or maybe one narrow pocket and then big pockets. But I could see me using it sometime. I don't know. Maybe when I'm pruning tomatoes, which I hardly ever do. So anyway, it has the clip in the back. And then it is adjustable at the neck. Let me get the glasses off. So it's adjustable there. So I had it almost all the way out, so someone that needs it lower might have a problem. And it's made out of the same stuff that the bag is made out of. Like, you know, it's got this plastic lining back there, a thin type of canvas for the rest of it. All of it seems to be the plastic lined, but it could be useful. If I were doing a lot of pruning of like plants, decorative plants and things like that, maybe when the blueberry bushes grow big and I'm pruning on those, or when the fruit trees grow more, I could see me, you know, needing different types of clippers and things like that. And if I'm doing general yard maintenance in the front, I could see me wearing it. But other than that, it hasn't been used. It's only been, that's the 3rd time it's been put on, I think. Once just to test it all by myself when I first opened it, once to show David, and once to show you. So you're special. Okay, and finally, okay, almost finally, here's the kneeling pad, and it's a decent thickness. It seems to hold up okay. I keep it in the garden room because I do a lot of kneeling down, mixing soil and things like that. So I wanted one to keep in the garden room. It did escape. It did, I must admit, it did escape recently and got a little dirty, but it's going back in there today. But I said I would show you what the bouquet could look like. And I put a clear vase so you can see all the colors of the stems. So pretty. I mean, just the stems alone are so pretty. And then look at the back of it. The orange and the yellow and the pink way up over there. There. And then this is that one piece of sage, the flowers that I had pulled off. Here's that onion blossom set. I picked another one of the sage blossoms just to even it out some. That's going to my sister, because I told her I was going to bring some greens over anyway, some Swiss chard. Oh, I might put in a few of the kale leaves, because I have some of those in the house I was going to bring her too. I don't know, it looks pretty full. I might have to subtract some of the other stuff and put in some of the Ragged Jack kale. Okay, I have a few other items that, oh, I'm getting dirty. There are a few other items I want to show you in the tools department. Long-handled tools are always nice. Cheyenne gave me this one, that's my other daughter. Mandy had given me the shirt, and I'm expecting more shirts in the mail. So this was from Cheyenne, and last year she gave me this, and this is something you could probably make. Something similar to this, and either use real or artificial flowers. This says, "Home is where mom is." I think that's what it says. Yeah. And this one she purchased at Walgreens when she was working there. And it's just got, this is metal. So it's like a little metal pot, and that's got the fake flowers in it. You could probably make something similar to this with things around the homestead or the home. So just wanted to throw that out there. And she also gave me a coaster, one of those stone coasters that says "Home is where mom is" as well. And there was something else, and I can't remember right offhand. But things like that are neat. So from Cheyenne, and the shovel, and the shirt from Mandy. The colorful stool you see me sitting on sometimes out here is from my son Ian, as well as the hat that I was wearing earlier. That's from Ian as well. So there's all kinds of things that you can give the gardening mom. Other moms can appreciate things like this as well. I mean, that's not just a gardener, that's flowers right there. Or everyone's got to eat, you know. You could go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of colorful Swiss chard and do something like that, or any other sort of greens. I mean, it doesn't have to have all that color in there. And then buy maybe a couple flowers, make sure they're non-toxic flowers, because if they're going in the water with your food, you don't want the food getting the toxicity. So I know that the flowers I put in here are not toxic, so I'm sure this is safe. But anytime you're putting anything that's non-food with food, make sure that it is not toxic. Other suggestions that you don't even have to acquire things for is offer to do the cooking for the day, the whole day. Give mom the day off of cooking, or clean the house. Dust. Oh my gosh, do a bunch of dusting. That is something that is so appreciated. Things like that. And yeah, I mean, that would make a Mother's Day, you know, when mom can turn around and see a nice clean house. That's a gift. I would love that gift. So if any of my kids are watching, for future Mother's Days, that would be a gift. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. Again, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. And for the others that are needing to come up with some quick Mother's Day gifts, hopefully this has inspired you to create something at home. I would also like, in the comments down below, if you have a question, go ahead and shoot that down there, or just want to say hi. But also, in the comments, I'd really love to see more gift ideas, maybe expand on what I've done, or maybe put in the comments your favorite Mother's Day gift you've received that was homemade that people could do on the fly today. That would be awesome. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. You think she'll like it? Hope so. I know she'll like to eat it. I don't know, it looks pretty full. I might have to subtract some of the other stuff and put in some of the Ragged Jack kale. Anyway, let me